Britain, an island nation, shaped by the sea, forged by time, but who were the first people to call this land home? Before the Romans, before the written word, there were the Britons, hunter-gatherers living in tune with nature. They left their mark on the land. Ancient monuments like Stonehenge still stand today, a testament to their skill and ingenuity. These early inhabitants were a hardy people. They faced harsh conditions, limited resources, yet they thrived, building communities, developing their own unique culture. We know little of their beliefs and rituals, but their legacy lives on. In the landscape, in our imagination, the arrival of the Celts around 700 BC marked a shift. These skilled warriors and metalworkers brought new technologies, iron tools and weapons. They introduced their own languages and customs. Over time, Celtic culture became dominant, from the highlands of Scotland to the southern shores. These were the Britons the Romans would encounter, a people on the cusp of change, unaware of the dramatic impact the coming centuries would bring. In 43 AD, the Roman legions landed, led by Emperor Claudius. They came to conquer, to bring Britain into the Roman Empire. The Britons resisted fiercely. Queen Boudicca, a symbol of defiance, led a rebellion. But Roman might was too great. Britain fell under Roman rule. For almost 400 years, Roman influence transformed the island. Roads were built, cities were founded. London, or Londinium as it was known, became a thriving centre of trade. Roman law and order were imposed. Roman culture permeated British life. Bathhouses offered relaxation and social gatherings. Amphitheatres hosted gladiatorial combats and public spectacles. The Romans brought their gods, their language, their way of life, and Britain was forever changed. But Roman rule wasn't absolute. The northern reaches of Britain remained unconquered. Beyond Hadrian's Wall, built to keep out the fierce Pictish tribes, Roman influence waned. And as the Roman Empire itself began to crumble, the legions eventually withdrew from Britain, leaving a legacy that would shape the centuries to come. With the Romans gone, a power vacuum emerged. From across the North Sea, new invaders arrived. Angles, Saxons, Jutes. These Germanic tribes came seeking land and opportunity. They pushed back the native Britons, driving them westwards. The Anglo-Saxons established their own kingdoms. Their language, Old English, became the foundation of modern English. They brought their own customs and beliefs. Christianity, brought to Britain by Roman missionaries, began to spread once more, this time under the guidance of figures like St. Augustine. But peace was not to last. From Scandinavia, a new threat emerged. The Vikings, fierce warriors and skilled seafarers, they raided coastal settlements, spreading terror and destruction. Their longships, fast and maneuverable, struck fear into the hearts of the Anglo-Saxons. Yet the Vikings were not simply raiders. They were also traders and explorers. They established settlements in Britain. Their influence can be seen in place names, language, and even DNA. The Viking Age was a time of violence and upheaval, but also of cultural exchange and adaptation. The year 1066, a date etched in British history. William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, claimed the English throne. He faced Harold Godwinson, the newly crowned English king, at the Battle of Hastings. The Normans, with their cavalry and archers, triumphed. Harold fell in battle, and England was changed forever. William's victory marked the beginning of Norman rule. French became the language of the court and the elite. Castles, imposing symbols of Norman power, were built across the land. The Domesday Book, a comprehensive survey of land and property, was commissioned. It was a tool of control, but also a valuable historical record. The Norman conquest had a profound impact on English society. It brought about a new social order, a new legal system, new forms of art and architecture. It also laid the foundations for the centralized state that England would become. The medieval period, spanning several centuries after the Norman conquest, was a time of great change and upheaval. Kings struggled for power, wars were fought, plagues ravaged the land. Yet, amidst the turmoil, there were also periods of great cultural and artistic flourishing. The Catholic Church played a central role in medieval life. Monasteries became centers of learning and scholarship. Cathedrals, towering testaments to faith, rose across the land. Pilgrimage became an important part of religious practice. Chivalry and knighthood emerged as ideals. Knights were expected to be brave in battle, loyal to their lord, and courteous to ladies. Tournaments, elaborate displays of martial skill became popular. Literature flourished, with tales of King Arthur and Robin Hood capturing the imagination. This era saw the signing of the Magna Carta in 1215, a landmark document that limited the power of the king and established the principle of rule of law. It was a significant step towards the development of parliamentary democracy in England. Section 6. An empire forged from Tudors to Victorians. The Tudor dynasty, which came to power in 1485, marked a turning point in English history. Henry VII consolidated royal power after the Wars of the Roses, a period of civil war. His son, Henry VIII, famously broke with the Catholic Church, establishing the Church of England and sparking religious upheaval. The Elizabethan era, during the reign of Elizabeth I, was a golden age for England. It was a time of exploration and discovery, with explorers like Sir Francis Drake circumnavigating the globe. It was also a time of great literary achievement, with playwrights like William Shakespeare transforming the English stage. The 17th century saw the English Civil War, a clash between the monarchy and Parliament, which resulted in the execution of King Charles I and the establishment of the Commonwealth under Oliver Cromwell. The monarchy was restored in 1660, but the idea of absolute monarchy had been dealt a blow. The 18th and 19th centuries saw the rise of the British Empire. Driven by trade, colonialism, and industrial might, Britain emerged as a global superpower. Its territories spanned the globe, from India to Australia, from Canada to large parts of Africa. This era also saw the reign of Queen Victoria, the longest reigning monarch in British history. Section 7. The workshop of the world. The Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution, which began in the late 18th century, transformed Britain from an agricultural society to an industrial powerhouse. New inventions like the steam engine and the power loom revolutionized manufacturing. Factories sprang up, particularly in the north of England, drawing in workers from rural areas. The Industrial Revolution brought about unprecedented economic growth, but also social upheaval. Cities grew rapidly, leading to overcrowding, poverty, and disease. Working conditions in factories were often harsh and dangerous. Child labor was commonplace. However, the Industrial Revolution also led to significant improvements in transportation, communication, and technology. Railways connected towns and cities. The telegraph allowed for rapid communication over long distances. New industries emerged, creating new jobs and opportunities. The Industrial Revolution had a profound impact, not only on Britain, but on the entire world. It marked the beginning of the Industrial Age and ushered in an era of unprecedented technological advancement and global interconnectedness. To Section 8, The Setting Sun, the 20th century and beyond. The 20th century was a time of great change and upheaval for Britain. The British Empire, which had dominated the globe, began to decline as colonies fought for and gained independence. 2 world wars tested the nation's resilience. The country faced economic challenges and social change. World War I, from 1914 to 1918, had a devastating impact on Britain. Millions of young men were killed or wounded. The war led to social and political change, with women gaining the right to vote and the Labour Party emerging as a major political force. After World War II, Britain played a key role in the establishment of the United Nations and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO. The country also experienced a period of economic recovery and social reform, with the creation of the National Health Service, or NHS, in 1948, providing free healthcare to all citizens. The latter half of the 20th century saw Britain grapple with decolonization, economic challenges, and social change. The country joined the European Economic Community, the precursor to the European Union, in 1973. The Thatcher era in the 1980s brought about significant economic and political reforms. Section 9. A New Millennium Britain Today. Britain today is a diverse and multicultural society. It is a leading centre for finance, education, culture, and the arts. The country faces challenges, including economic inequality, social divisions, and the legacy of its colonial past. Britain remains a significant player on the global stage with a permanent seat on the UN Security Council and membership in the G7 group of leading economies. The country is a strong advocate for international cooperation and free trade. British culture continues to evolve and thrive. From music and fashion to film and television, Britain is a global cultural powerhouse. The country is home to world-renowned universities, museums and theatres. The story of Britain is a complex and ever-evolving one. From its ancient roots to its modern-day identity, Britain has been shaped by waves of migration, conquest, innovation and change. It is a country with a rich history and a vibrant present, poised to face the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century.